Video games aren't just played anymore, they're lived. And when the leap to live action works, it doesn't just entertain, it detonates. Here are the top 10 live-action video game adaptations. Number 10, Assassin's Creed. It had everything: centuries of war, secret orders, memory hacking tech. And it didn't blink. Instead of recycling the games, this film built a new story within the same deadly world. Michael Fassbender didn't just play an assassin, he became one, leaping between eras, hunting truth in bloodlines. Visually stunning and unapologetically bold, it threw lore and logic into a blender and said, "Watch this." Critics split, fans intrigued. It wasn't perfect, but it had claws, the kind that dig in long after the credits roll. Number 9, Need for Speed. Forget finesse. This was all fury. Pure rubber-burning vengeance wrapped in roaring engines and gasoline dreams. Aaron Paul stepped out of the Breaking Bad shadow and straight into a muscle car, chasing justice across the open road. No CGI tricks here, just real stunts, raw speed, and brutal collisions that made your chest tighten. It didn't want to be art. It wanted to punch the accelerator and tear the rearview mirror off. A love letter to the underground racing world, fast, flawed, and ferocious. Number 8, Halo. Spartans never die, and Master Chief didn't come quietly. Translating the massive Halo universe into live action meant walking a minefield of expectations, but when the helmet dropped and the drama started, it was clear. This wasn't just a game adaptation, it was character study meets sci-fi war epic. Chief wasn't just a weapon, he was a haunted legend. And the Covenant weren't just enemies, they were a mirror to humanity's chaos. Some fans hated the shifts, but the ambition? Undeniable. In this universe, heroes bleed, trust breaks, and nothing is just black and white. Number 7, Resident Evil. This time it went back to the rot, back to the dim hallways, dripping fear, and secrets buried under concrete. This wasn't the campy action fest the old films became. This was horror, raw and twitching. It dragged the franchise back to the viral roots of Raccoon City, with a story that smelled like something had died, and maybe still lived in the walls. The vibe was claustrophobic, the scares mean. And when the infection hit, it was personal. Not polished, not pretty, but finally Resident Evil felt like a nightmare again. Number 6, Mortal Kombat. This reboot didn't whisper nostalgia. It screamed it through shattered spines and fireballs. The cast brought life to legends, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Kano, with a raw, dirty edge. The plot was thin, sure, but the energy, untamed. It was blood, sweat, and legacy splattered across arenas carved from myth. The fatalities weren't just fan service, they were brutal poetry. And while the new protagonist raised eyebrows, the film had one goal: make Mortal Kombat feel again. And damn if it didn't. Number 5, Uncharted. Tom Holland's Drake was young, scrappy, and reckless, and it worked. The movie played like the games: jumps too far, punches too fast, and twists too wild. Mark Wahlberg's Sully added just enough grit to balance the charm. The treasure hunts were cinematic chaos, ancient puzzles, rooftop brawls, mid-air mayhem, and through it all, that perfect blend of smirk and bruises that made Nathan Drake iconic. It didn't try to be deep, it tried to be fun, and it nailed it, one near-death escape at a time. Number 4, Tomb Raider. Lara Croft wasn't a legend here, she was a fighter, scrapping her way through trauma and tombs. Alicia Vikander stripped the character down to bone and grit. No dual pistols, no glam, just raw survival and painful growth. It made her earn her title, stumbling through danger with bruises and breathlessness. The puzzles were brutal, the villains cruel. But it was Lara's journey that stuck, human, defiant, and determined to carve her own fate in a world built to kill her. A bold, grounded reboot that finally gave her story weight. Number 3, Warcraft. A world too big to tame, but damn, they tried. Warcraft wasn't made for the casual viewer. It was made for those who lived in Azeroth, who bled for their factions. Orcs were more than monsters. They were men, warriors, fathers. The film dove headfirst into lore, culture, betrayal, and honor. CGI heavy, sure, but it wasn't empty, it was epic. The scale, the stakes, the sacrifice, it all felt like legend. For fans, it wasn't just a movie, it was finally home on screen. Number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog. He started as a meme, a nightmare of weird eyes and furry limbs, but after a complete design overhaul and a fan base that refused to let it fail, Sonic blazed back with attitude. The film was a roller coaster of heart, speed, and chaos. Jim Carrey's Robotnik was vintage lunacy, chewing scenery with joyful venom. And Sonic? He was more than fast. He won. Number 1, The Last of Us. It didn't feel like a video game adaptation. It felt like cinema. Every shot, every pause, every sob was carved from pain and survival. Joel wasn't a hero, he was broken. Ellie wasn't a sidekick, she was the heart. And together they carried the weight of the world, step by brutal step. The infected weren't just monsters, they were reminders of how fragile hope is. And when it hit, it didn't miss. It cut deep, stayed long, and dared to be ugly and beautiful at the same time. It didn't just raise the bar, it destroyed it. That's it for this top 10 trove. If you love videos like these, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. See you in the next one.